Hi, my name is Courtney Schools, and this is my video assignment in regards to proactive and reactive responses by an organization during a crisis. The crisis I chose is COVID-19. On February 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization had dubbed the actual novel virus as the coronavirus, but it was shortened to COVID-19. Certain symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, and just because a person contracted the coronavirus and has mild symptoms doesn't mean that a person won't eventually end up in the ICU. This is why there's so much focus on social distancing, which is compelling people to stay at home. So states decided on if they should be safer at home or stay-at-home orders. It is pertinent to practice good infectious measures. The virus that causes COVID-19 is thought to spread mainly from person to person, mainly through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It's a highly infectious disease. As of May 3rd, 2020, there's a total of 3,454,197 coronavirus cases. And so far, there's 247,305 deaths. There's no specific treatment or vaccine that is currently available for the COVID-19. A communication expert on staff for an organization should be ready, whether it be traditional media or social media, in times of a crisis. Adapting to COVID-19 and responding to the crisis is imperative. The first thing that should be done during this crisis is to say something. Other things in order to respond to a crisis is to be right, be first, be credible, express empathy, show respect, and promote action. When responding to a crisis in an organization, it is important not to point fingers. When there's action that one can take, it also helps people feel in control. Crisis communication must be coordinated and consistent. With media monitoring, which should happen in organizations during a crisis, you need to combat misinformation, address concerns, and monitor both traditional and social media. During this time of the current crisis, COVID-19, having a communication plan is necessary. It enables guidance during a crisis. When dealing with the media, it is important to note there is no off the record and to not be led by hypotheticals. And a proactive response, the people in an organization are always looking to learn, always looking for more to accomplish, and they strive for change. A proactive response, they are also very organized and they project themselves into the future. They tend to not blame and they don't justify and accept the fact, and they learn from it. They acquire new knowledge, and they do want the have to do it to get it done. Oh, and they do what they have to do to get it done. A reactive response, they think they know enough. They finish a job and wait for the next one. The organizations do not like change. They do not plan. They deal with things as they come. There's much wasted time on unproductive activities. They blame circumstances and others, and they respond based on feelings. That is the reactive response. And they also tend to criticize if you have a reactive response in an organization. An example of a proactive response happened 3 weeks ago in my state of Maryland. Maryland Governor Hogan secured 500,000 virus tests for the state. After almost months of talk, talks, Hogan and his wife secured the test after growing frustration with the Trump administration. Their goal was to start testing 10,000 Marylanders a day. Trump criticized the deal by saying Hogan could have saved more money by talking to the Vice President Pence, and that knowledge would have been power in Hogan's case. Hogan, who is the chairman of the National Governors Association, is married to his wife, who speaks fluent South Korean, and she was born outside of Seoul, Korea. Hogan relied on his relationship in terms to securing the test and getting the testing going. The example of being proactive is that every governor in America has been fighting to get tests, and that the president told the governors they were on their own in order to secure more tests. But following Hogan securing the COVID-19 tests, the president changed his views. This proactive response made a huge improvement for our state and the lives of millions of Marylanders. Testing is critical and critically important in order to get the states reopened, in order to flatten the curve, in order to identify the people who are and who are not sick with the COVID-19. This was the way it was and the way the president said it needed to be done. So Hogan worked tremendously hard to secure the tests and to be proactive. An example of a reactive response in an organization happened 6 days ago right here in the White House. Anyone entering the West Wing now needs to wear a mask. However, the president is not ordered to follow it. Two staffers in the White House tested positive, including the President Trump's personal valet, and Katie Miller, who is spokesperson for the Vice President, Mike Pence. Now 3 of the country's top health officials are now in some type of self-quarantine. The coronavirus scare in the White House, where testing is widely available, undercuts the president's message that the outbreak is currently fading, and it also highlights the challenges known worldwide. That is a reactive response. They waited until 2 staffers contracted the COVID-19 in order to make wearing face masks mandatory in the West Wing. However, the president does not need to follow these new orders. The media, as you can see, has the ability to strengthen or hurt a leader's career with a few keystrokes, as in social medias. That includes Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So that shows you the non-traditional media or the social media aspect. Traditional media is like news coverage. Internal social media use can expose the shortcomings of a company's culture and sometimes even magnify them. By mentioning the importance of fairness and motivation, leaders must have vested emotional capital for their employees and their company, or for their states and their citizens and country. So this is my report on proactive and reactive responses in response to a crisis. My viewpoint is that a proactive response is the way to go in handling a crisis. You always want to look to learn, always move forward to accomplish. You want to strive for change. You want to be very organized, and you do not want to blame. And due to COVID-19, it is also imperative for companies, organizations, and this government to have an emergency plan in place, which also includes for educational systems around the country, as we now are moving to distant learning and being stuck at home and reaching our children from home. So I hope you enjoyed my video assignment. Thanks for watching.